إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين إنه خير ناصر ومعين. Last session we talked about the ways we can change our life to transfer from bad type of life to the best one. And we said we can imagine at least 3 types of life: the humanistic, that is the middle one; the animalistic, that is the previous to the humanistic one; and the angelic one, and that is the level after the humanistic life. All these changes could be done through one point, and that is mentioned in the Islamic literature, especially in the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet and our Imams, through reflection and thinking a little bit about at least 2 things. To think about the creation of God, and to think about yourself and the soul that is inside of you. If you think a little bit about these 2 things, you can change your attitudes toward creation. And by changing the attitudes, you can change the lifestyle of yourself and the other people that are your addressees. Some people say, oh yes, we want to change ourselves. Or more than this, we want to change the misunderstanding about Islam all over the world. But they don't know how is it possible for them as a person to change the world as a whole. The key solution for that is just changing our own attitudes. If you, as an alim, as a person who studied Islamic studies and Islamic teachings, and today I want to say there's no ignorant person to say, okay, I'm not alim, I'm not knowledgeable person, I cannot understand anything from Islam. Today, on the light of the communication age, there's no ignorant person to be absolute and complete ignorance. We cannot imagine such a person today. Yes, of course, there are degrees for knowledge, and the level of knowledge is different in different persons and people. Some people may understand more, and some people may understand less. If you just understand that you are feeling you're responsible before your religion, and you want to send the message of Islam to other people, first you have to send this message to yourself, your heart, your soul. Without changing yourself, you cannot change others. And changing ourselves is out of understanding ourselves, and after that, change little by little your attitudes toward yourself, toward other people, toward creation, toward your Lord. And then change would be occurred in the whole universe by changing yourself. Because you're not just one person, this little mass that you think, yes, this is my body, and I'm just here, I'm not in other places. As Amir al-Mu'mineen said, this is a poem dedicated for Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen. أَتَزْعَمْ أَنَّكَ جِرْمٌ صَغِيرٌ. Do you think that you are a little mass, this body? وَفِيكَ انْطَوَى الْعَالَمُ الْأَكْبَرُ. There is a great world inside you. You are a great world. If you change your world, then you can change the external world. You can change other people. Tonight, I want to talk a little bit about the way we can change our attitudes. And for me, that is a very crucial point. The beginning point for changing is to change your attitude toward a reference, to refer, toward a source to rely on, to find a source that is very stable, unchangeable. There's no moving for that. There's no change inside that source. It is very powerful and strong. You can rely on. So what's that source really? Finding the example for that source is a little bit difficult. And people will make mistake for that. Some people say, okay, what's reliable in this world is myself. Because I'm here, I know myself. I can start from myself, I can rely on myself. There's no need for the others. This is what the Holy Quran says. Some people have misunderstanding about the source that is reliable. أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. You see, some people have taken their desires and their passions, their low desires, as the Lord for them, as God for them. Okay, they're following their desires, they're relying on their own understanding and will, and they think human being is absolutely free in this world, and his understanding is the ultimate criterion for everything in this world. Then man can manage the world, can change the world out of his own desires, his own understanding and intelligence. That's it. Some people may think that no, there's another thing. You can imagine there are some people, they are so interested in achieving higher position and levels of society. So the position for them is very interesting, to reach the higher position in the society. For some people, more money is the goal, okay? Making money and dollar is the Lord for them. They're following money-making job and opportunities. I want to say tonight, as a Muslim, as I understood from the Holy Quran and Islamic sources, we have to rely on some source, that this source is not perishable, is very powerful, is available for any man and woman in each moment of life. I need a source. Whenever I call it, answer me. Whenever I need it, help me. So this is the source we need today. And really, the source is Allah the Almighty, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We are coming from God and returning back to God. Wa ila rabbika al-muntaha. And the destination is God. So the journey that we've started from the beginning of our life till death, so it is just coming to an end, and that end is God. So you can ask me, how is it possible to know God? Is that out of ourselves? Should we start from ourselves, or there's another sources to introduce us to the Lord and God? Allah the Almighty put one source for starting inside you, and that is intelligence. So the intelligence, according to some ahadith, is the prophet, and that is inner prophet for human being. If you follow your inner prophet, that is your aql, intelligence, then you may reach external prophets of God. If you don't listen to the voice of your inner prophet, then you may go astray. There's no doubt in it. So this is why in different ahadith and different places in the Holy Quran mention that reflection and thinking is very important for a believer. To think about yourself, to think about your destination, to think about your departure point, to think about your duty and responsibility toward God. تفكر ساعة أفضل من عبادة 70 سنة. Thinking for 1 hour is better or equals worship for more than 70 years. In some hadiths more than 1 year, in some hadiths more than 70. Just think for a while. And after thinking, you can find that, yes, you're created by God. You're not free to do whatever you want. You're restricted in a boundary of Sharia, in a boundary of religion. You have a great commitment to Sharia. Then we can understand our duties. One of the young Muslims wrote a letter to Allama Tabatabai, rahmatullah alayh, asking him for some advice. And he addressed Allama Tabatabai that I live in a society that this society is not suitable for being a good Muslim. That society is not good for performing prayer, performing the religious rituals. I'm so restricted in that society. Please help me. That society is full of sin. You know, some people say there is social force for human being. So the society is forcing us to do something. We're not free. We cannot get out of this society. This is not correct. Yes, in some societies, there were some difficulties to do Islamic rituals. In some societies, it is very easy to be a good Muslim. But this is not impossible in any corner of this world to be a good Muslim. Allama Tabatabai replied the letter by writing this answer. He said, At the very beginning of the morning, every day, you have to have some conditions for yourself. Stipulation, we say. To stipulate yourself to do something and not to do something. Put some conditions over yourself. This is what we call musharata in ethics and spirituality. And during a day, be careful not to violate the condition you put over yourself. And that is muraqaba, or supervision. To supervise yourself not to violate the condition you put at the beginning of the day. For example, when you start your day, you say, okay, today I want to just watch my tongue, not to say whatever I want, to watch my words that are coming out of my mouth. And during a day, be very careful not to say bad things, bad words, not to backbite any mu'min, any believer, not to tell a lie, not to insult other people, not to break the heart of people by saying something. Okay? So, during a day, be careful not to violate the condition. And this is muraqabah. And at the end of the day, when you want to go to bed, start evaluating the activities that you've done during the day and account your deeds. Evaluate your actions you've done. So at that moment, you can reward yourself. If you see that, okay, mashallah, you've done many, many good deeds, reward yourself. Or if you see bad actions that are written in your book of deeds, then start insulting yourself, punishing yourself. What a bad action I've done today. As a just judge, talk about yourself, address yourself. If you practice these three actions every day, little by little, you can experience the life of angels. That is hayat tayyibah, mentioned in the Holy Quran. Good life. That is the life of angels. There is no sin in this life. There is no bad action. There is no desire toward committing sin. And it is full of mercy, full of blessing from God. If we practice these things, then we can achieve certainty, yaqeen. Okay, I know just this is not the matter of saying something. This is the matter of action. We know many, many things. But what we're missing is the action, practice. We don't practice in accordance with our understanding and sayings. This is our problems. This is why the Holy Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu aminu billah. O people who you believe in Allah. You're saying something. You're claiming that you're Muslim, you're a believer in God. But in action, there is no Islam. This is what Amir al-Mu'mineen said. يَأْتِي عَلَى النَّاسِ زَمَانٌ لَا يَبْقَى مِنَ الْإِسْلَامِ إِلَّا اسْمُهُ وَلَا مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ إِلَّا رَسْمُهُ. There would be a time at the end of the time. Today, there's no Islam except the name, the title. Nothing remains from Quran except the just written and published book. Quran should be alive in our life. You have to show that you're Muslim through your actions. If we practice this, then we can achieve the level of certainty. And certainty also has different levels. The first level of certainty is ilm al-yaqeen, knowledge of certainty, to understand that there is something behind curtain. There is another world after death. And even today, there is another world. But we cannot understand. We cannot see. وَيَعْلَمُونَ ظَاهِرًا مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ عَنِ الْآخِرَةِ هُمْ غَافِلُونَ. So people just understand the apparent aspect of the life, and they're ignorant about the inner aspect of this life, and that is akhirah. Akhirah is there today. It's not coming after death. Some people today are living in paradise, heaven, and some people are living in the hell. Hell and paradise are today present. Knowledge of certainty, to understand there is something. There is another world. There are different angels watching us. And above all the angels, this is the just prophet of God, and above the prophet, God himself. Do you remember the verse of the Holy Quran about supervision of God and the apostle of the angels? وَقُلْ اعْمَلُوا. This is a little bit strange verse. This is a great threat for the people that are heedless. قُلْ اعْمَلُوا. Allah says, do, practice. فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ. Allah would see your actions and practice. Allah. وَرَسُولُهُ. And the apostle of God also watching you. وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ. And the believers also are watching you. So this is knowledge of certainty. To understand that there are many people are seeing us, and we have to be very careful about our actions. Allah and the apostle of Allah and mu'minun, believers. And if we want to understand believers and the meaning of believers, the perfect people who have perfect iman and faith are the infallible imams and other prophets. They are ma'soom, infallibles. So all imams are seeing us and watching our action. So there's no privacy today. We are at the presence of God, the apostle, and the angels, and other infallible imams. Be careful. Knowledge of certainty is very important for the beginning. But it's not suitable for you to remain and stay on this level, on this station. If you stay in this station, then we can say this knowledge changed to be a veil for you, an obstacle. If you just gather knowledge, information about what you need, and that's it, without going forward, then al-ilmu huwa al-hijab al-akbar. Then this knowledge becomes very great and huge hijab and veil. Because you may say, okay, mashallah, I'm a very knowledgeable person. I know what the other people don't know. Then this is not good for a person that is going to practice spirituality and approach to God. Okay, after understanding something, and that is ilm al-yaqeen, we have to move forward and reach the second station of certainty, and that is ayn al-yaqeen, eye of certainty. To see what's going on behind the curtain, not to know, just to see by your eyes that there is something I can see. There were some great mystics in Islam. It is narrated from them that sometimes they say we can realize the descending of the angels of God on the night of Qadr. We saw the angels are coming down from the heaven to the earth. This is eye of certainty. As Amir al-Mu'mineen said, لو كشف الغطاء ما ازددت يقين. So today there's curtain. If these curtains moved from my eyes, then there's no advance and there's no increasing for my yaqeen and certainty. Because today I see whatever you can't see. لم أعبد ربا لم أره. I never worship a Lord without seeing and watching. This is what Amir al-Mu'mineen said. Aynul yaqeen, eye of certainty. This is a little bit difficult for us, yeah? If you continue this understanding and yaqeen and increase your level of understanding and practice more and more the spiritual ways of living, you may achieve the third level of certainty, and that is haqqul yaqeen. This is also much more difficult than the previous one. Let me just explain it through an example. Imagine that there is smoke just rising to the heaven and sky behind the wall. And you see that smoke rising, okay. You can understand by seeing that there should be a fire behind the wall. Because of that sign, I can understand there should be a fire. This is ilm al-yaqeen. Just understanding something through some evidence, some reasons. But suppose that you're going forward and watching the fire by your eyes, not just smoke, the fire itself. This is aynul yaqeen. To see the reality, not to know just about the reality. And if you go more forward and touch the fire by your hand, You can feel the fire by your whole existence, by your own being. Then this is haqqul yaqeen. There's no doubt in it. There is a fire and it's burning. And I felt this fire. So this is haqqul yaqeen. Which one is possible for us today in this life? Is that all of them, one of them, two of them? As a person who wants to live a spiritual life, first one is possible for every people. Knowledge of certainty. To increase the knowledge about religion, about human being, about God, to study the Holy Quran, to study the tradition of Holy Prophet, and to listen to some people who are speaking about God, who are speaking about the spirituality, and like this. And the second one, eye of certainty, is also possible for some people. They may achieve that level of certainty if they practice their actions seriously, with ikhlas. If you purify yourself, your intention, just offer and present all of these actions to Allah the Almighty, not anybody else, then you can achieve that level. Have you heard about this story? Took place at the beginning of Islam and early Islam. A young man came to the Holy Prophet, and he was so exhausted, tired, and he was looking very sleepy, and he was not good. So Holy Prophet asked him, كيف أصبحت? How did you start your beginning, your day, your morning? Or how are you? How's it going? He said, أصبحت على يقين, or أصبحت موقنا. Oh, the Apostle of God, I started my day while I was certain. I achieved the level of certainty. Okay, this is a claim. So what is the signs for this claim? You're saying that I'm certain. What's the sign for that? Could you show me the signs? He said, yes, oh, the Apostle of God. My certainty took away my sleeping. I cannot sleep easily. I can see the heaven and the hell. If you allow me, I can show that this man is the people of the hell, or that man is the people of the heaven. I can show you. I'm seeing that this man is living in the heaven or in the hell. This is eye of certainty. Aynul yaqeen. So the Holy Prophet confirmed his claim and his certainty. And he said, this is the correct way that you reached. But don't tell anybody about your watching, your seeing, your observation. You're not allowed to say this man would be in the hell or is going to heaven. This is the secret of God. No one can declare it. This is a young man. He was not an imam. He was not a prophet. He was not infallible. Huh? He was a normal and common people and person. Yes, we can reach that level of certainty, but it needs more effort. It needs unity of mind. You know what I'm saying? Once one man asked Ayatollah, the late Ayatollah Bahjat, rahmatullah alayhi. He said, could you advise us about the ways we can control our mind during prayer? You know, whenever we start our prayer, we think about anything except prayer. Could you show us some ways to overcome our dispersed mind, to control it, to unite it? He said, for presence of heart and mind in the prayer, you have to begin in the time before and out of the prayer. Before prayer, you have to practice to control your mind, and then within the prayer, you can overcome your thoughts. But unfortunately, when we're living in a day, normal day, then we're thinking about many, many things. And we didn't practice about controlling mind. And within the prayer, this is the same thing, and this is the same case. We cannot control. If you think about many, many things except than God, then you would have dispersed mind. If you think about one source that is God, then you can have one mind, unified mind. Because God is one, if you think about one source, then you can achieve unity in your heart, in your mind. So the unity of mind comes from the unity of thinking, and that is thinking about God, and that is one source in the universe. So we have to think about one source that should be reliable, unchanging, and stable, not perishable, and that is God. And accepting the leadership and lordship of God, not other people, not powerful people, not superpowers in the world, not money, not the positions of the society. And following the way that Allah has drawn to us. And that is the way of the prophets of God, and after prophets, the successors of the prophets, and today the Imam of the time, Imam al-Mahdi ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And you can't say that, okay, I am a believer in God without following the apostles of God. You can't claim that you are a believer in one of the prophets of God without following the successors of the prophet. So the only way for changing life is finding one reliable source, and that is God. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلَ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. And the one who is going to rely on this source, so this source is enough for him. And after that, to follow the line of God. That is just beginning from Prophet Adam and ending in Prophet Khatam, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the way of the Prophet of Islam is the way of Imams. So this is the only line that we can follow to change ourselves, and through that to change the others and the world, especially lifestyle. Inshallah, may Allah help us to follow the real way of the real religion of God, and the religion is the final religion. There's no religion after that. We have to find that religion, and that is the religion of Islam. And inshallah, may Allah help us to follow the successors of the Prophet of Islam, especially the Imam of the time, Imam Mahdi. May Allah hasten his reappearance. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.